here, Vicente Fox, the former president of Mexico.
Yes, sir.
And what years were years?
2000, 2006.
2000, 2006. Now,
Yes, sir.
I wanna give some background and history here, because becoming president of a country is a phenomenal feat. That is there's a lot of things that people grow up and do as a kid, but becoming president is another level. Did you want to become president as a kid, or is it something that happened later in life?
Yeah, no, none at all.
Not at all.
As a matter of fact, at that time, I thought, because I was so educated at home, not to become president, not to become a farmer.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I was very disobedient, and I did both things.
You did both of
I
them.
farm, and I was president.
Yeah. So so as a kid, you never wanted to become president? It wasn't a dream or anything like that?
No, I wanted to be and do great things.
Okay.
But I didn't select which one of those great things I wanted to go for. So I started in the Coca-Cola company. They hired me as a route salesman. Started working hard, which is something I know how to do, and became president of the company for Mexico and Latin America.
Uh-huh.
But until I was in the company, I decided that I was going to be president of the company. Same thing happened later on in politics. Once I decided to participate in politics, I started as a grassroots citizen working with my party. And then I said, but if I'm here, I'm going to be president of Mexico. So it was until I was there, but I had all my life that desire to do great things, if I could. And I associated doing great things with serving others.
Okay.
To doing it for others, not for myself. And I think that was also a very powerful ingredient. Not to be president because I wanted to be, but to be president because I wanted to serve. I wanted to do good to Mexicans.
Let me ask you this question. You used the word right there, ingredients, which I think is a unique word. When being that you became president of Mexico, what are some of the key ingredients that you see in other men and women that have the ingredients that make up successful, driven people? What do you see as common ingredients, if you will?
Well, I would say the number one ingredient is discovering.
Oh, that's a good word.
Who you are. And number two, discovering that we, all human beings, have been gifted with the attribute of leadership. That we can aspire and we can dream to do great things in our life as long as we define our purpose. As long as we go within and we ask myself, what's what I want to be? Why am I in this life for? And once you learn and discover yourself and your leadership, then you're almighty. Almighty. You can get as high as you want and as far as you decide. And that leadership can be for the good, or can be evil. Like Hitler, he was a great leader.
Yeah.
He was an evil leader. Like Nelson Mandela, he was a fantastic human being. He was a leader, and he did great things. So leadership needs a cause, and that cause must be positive. And once you have that, then you define your purpose, where you're heading, and how you're going to get there. And once you define a purpose, then you must make it happen. Performance. There's no need, there is no reason to have great plans, to have great purpose, if you don't make things happen. So performance is a total ingredient. So all of this is linked. And the other way you discover your leadership, well, we can remember St. Paul, San Pablo. He was a tax collector. He was hurting people, affecting people, using the stick to collect, until one day he fell from the horse. And he reacted, he said, what the hell am I doing with my life? Why am I doing these lousy things to others? He said, I have to change. But change to what? He said, I want to change for this. And that's it. And the miracle happened.
Wow.
It happens every day.
So you gave some like chain links of the ingredients.
Yes.
I want to say them back and see if you said number one, you got to discover yourself,
Yes.
and then discover how you can help others.
Yes.
And then you said understand your purpose.
Yes.
What you want to do. And you said you got to have a roadmap
Yes.
get to your purpose.
How to get there.
And you have to have performance
Yes.
to make sure you get there. Did I get all that right?
And then you die, and it's all over.
The last chain.
No. That's it. And but the key thing here is that the shortcut to that process, the shortcut to happiness is being for others, is doing for others, is doing for your community, is doing for your family, doing for your friends, doing for your city, doing for your nation, doing for the world. That's a mighty powerful concept, that doing for others, you reach happiness.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. If you could help me and other people here in North America understand, the more of the Mexican culture, because I look at, there's certain things, even as you were talking, it's amazing to me how family is so important in the Hispanic culture. It's like it's a known fact. It's like number one, family. Where does that come from?
We have great things behind ourselves, Mexicans, and Mexican civilization. We're way, way older than U.S. citizens' civilization. So we have a background of greatness. Now we have a nation to build. So hope, vision, convictions, passion should be our motto, our drive to build that great nation we want to be. But there's a lot of frustrating things that don't happen and has not happened. So where we got lost? We got lost on forgetting that you can only build a great nation in one generation if you have education. And education takes you to being patient, because when you educate somebody, you're going to see the return 25 years later.
Yeah.
So a generation later. And we all want shortcut. We just want to move from 1,000 salary to 10,000 salary. We just want to cross the border as a migrant and want to make a lot of money there. So you just have to be patient, like producing good wine. You have to let it rest. You have to work it out through education every stage in life. And you never end up educating yourself as you go to a master's degree, and then you learn that you just have too much to learn.
That it's just now starting.
Yes.
When as president, as a leader of a nation, obviously people that listen to the show, they're normally business leaders and so forth. But I think one thing is very different from a business leader to a president, whether it be you, presidents here, all presidents seem like go through this. You have to lead from a perspective of half the people don't like you. Half the people like you, but only maybe. It's very difficult from a business leadership. Can you give some insight how, as a leader, how do you lead even when you know people are against you, don't like you, but you still have to lead? How do you lead in that situation?
Well, you have to understand that we play both roles.
Okay.
We're leaders and we're followers. It's not what they tell you that leaders have followers. No. If we have friends, we might be following that leader that is leading the football team. And then later you come back home and you have a neighborhood of friends, and there's a leader to that. So leaders work on almost any different task. And leaders, you have leadership projects for today, for tomorrow, for the next 10 years, and for your whole of your life. So that's where you have to define your purpose and make sure that you are clear on that to be effective. But it's just maybe what I'm saying could be better sustained if we speak about our heart.
Okay.
Our heart talks to us every day, talks to us about love, talks to us about decisions you have to make, difficult or easy. And many times we have to follow those corazonadas, those feelings that come from your heart, more than having a huge business plan.
Right.
You might say, no, me can be a great business venture. And you just thought of it coming from your heart and you just started doing it.
It's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
This is a unique business that I did not put a business plan together. I just said, I want to go talk to athletes, celebrities, influencers, and I want to just have an authentic conversation about it. I have no way to monetize this. I have it costs me money to do, but I'm very passionate about these conversations because I'm trying to help other people see different things, about life. And, but I'm more passionate about this. I have lots of businesses, but I'm more passionate about this than I am anything else.
Yeah, because this is humane. You're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with emotions, with thoughts. And maybe that's the best part that we can attend in our lives, more than just making money. That's why I see so many people here in America that when they get to be 30-year-olds, they made enough money, and then they decide, well, I want to go to Africa and help the poor kids in Africa, or I want to go to Latin America and teach business to kids that don't have those opportunities. And that's exactly what Matt and I created these 3 foundations for. Really, we want to just have something that fulfills our minds, our heart, and we just enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Today we wake up and say, what's next, Matt? What do we do today?
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. It's fantastic when you do what you like, and when you are convinced that that's good for others, you move like you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're successful. Just look at these pictures here.
Let me ask you this question. Could you help educate viewers and listeners about more of the Mexican culture? What is something that you would love for Americans to know about the Mexican people, Mexican culture, that we don't maybe know? Maybe the media doesn't show us, talk to us about it. What is something you would like for us to know about the Mexican culture, people?
Yeah, there's many things that we need to know about the other. And that's why it's good to say that it's better that you put yourself on the shoes of the other, and then you understand, and then you can help them, and then you can work with them as a friend. This is exactly what we're doing. Don't forget that we have 40 million Mexican migrants working in this nation, and they are not understood.
Yeah.
Many people are discriminating them or speaking bad things about them, starting with Trump. That's why I said Trump is very stupid. He doesn't know what we Mexicans are. He just is saying that we're stupid, that we're not good, and so you need to know the other, and that's the most important recommendation. Now, here people in the United States don't know, for instance, that we not only are neighbors, United States and Mexico, we're friends today. We had wars before, but today we're friends. And number 3, we're partners. We're partners through NAFTA. We decided to come together and work out that agreement to trade among both of us. And the trading balance we have reached today, United States and Mexico, is reaching $1 trillion. $1 million of millions of US. And the fortunate part of it, and what it sustains it, is that it's a 1-to-1. We export $1, we import $1, and so we're even. And that's fantastic, because we know in Mexico that hundreds of thousands of farmers in United States and the Midwest live out. They get their income for what Mexico's buying from them.
Right.
Corn, sorghum, wheat, and grain in general. And we know that by producing in Mexico vegetables, onions, carrots, Brussels sprouts, broccolis, cauliflowers, we are feeding a lot of people in the United States. So by producing cars in Mexico, we are creating wealth together with the United States. So that's what we have to learn, that we're partners, that we're friends, and that we're neighbors, and that we're equal, that we have a strong culture behind ourselves, same as the United States has a great founding fathers and founding dream, the American dream, which is the dream of all of the Americas. It's not only U.S. dream, it's the whole continent's dream.
Right. I love it. I think of the word, as you were talking there, I think of the word teamwork when you were talking.
Absolutely.
It's teamwork, right?
Yes, sir.
Because there's a lot of decisiveness in our, I would say right now, there's a lot of decisiveness in America right now. But it's the teamwork that it seems to lack right now.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm saying both sides of here in America, some conservative versus liberalism, and then now talking also against North America, South America. We have to look at it from a team's perspective.
Yeah, let me tell you what would happen to the elderly in this nation if it were not by nursing, by people that attends them, and many of them are Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen to your garden in the backyard if there were not this magnificent artist of Mexican gardeners?
For the housing market.
Your garden, house, construction.
Right, the housing market.
And food, restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I come to the United States, I do two things. I stop in harvesting fields here in San Fernando Valley in California. I stop in harvesting apples in Washington State, and go to my paisanos and say, congratulations, man, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I go to every kitchen of great restaurants here. I always, right after I have my dinner, like I did last night, I go to the kitchen, and it's always Mexicans there.
Yeah.
It's always in New York, in L.A., in Houston, Dallas, Washington, where
doesn't matter.
And I say, congratulations, man. You are doing it for yourself, your family, and for this great nation. And so we're all happy by being friends.
Let me ask you this. Could you give us some insight from the other side of the border, right? We only hear our side. If you want to say our side, I mean the North American side of the story. Can you give us some education insight on the border and what you think should or should not happen at the border?
Yeah, should not happen is violence.
Violence.
It's crime, it's cartels. Should not happen.
Mm-hmm.
But what's underneath it? The huge drug consumption in this nation that has to import all those drugs for consumers here. Over 50 billion US dollars size market on drugs here. They come from the South. They come through Mexico because we don't produce them. They're produced in Colombia, Venezuela, and elsewhere. But they come through Mexico.
Travel up through Mexico.
That's why I'm for legalizing consumption of drugs. Not only marijuana and cannabis, but also any drug. I think we all human beings were created free. God created us free. The founding fathers of this nation decided that freedom was the most important thing. So we should be let free to decide on our own. So that's one thing that complicates our relationship. On the other side, what we have in Mexico? Well, we have Puerto Vallarta, we have Cancun, we have Cabos, and we have 50 most beautiful colonial cities in Mexico, like Morelia, like León, Guanajuato, like Mexico City itself. It's monumental, that central square of Mexico City, National Palace. And also our culture. People is friendly there in Mexico. Yeah. You sit down there and they invite you to have a tequila, and they might not charge you for that, and you start having fun, and then you ask for your enchiladas and your tacos. And this is what we offer in San Cristobal, where this first presidential library ever outside of the United States is right there in San Cristobal. It's Fox Center. And beautiful place. And all of this that I'm talking about, fiesta, joy, enthusiasm, we have it there. And we offer that to anybody that comes and visit us. And so that's the way it is. I don't think that God created borders. We happen to have a border between United States and Mexico today. We happen to have had in the past a border that was way up north, including Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California. On our side, that was Mexico. So it's not anymore. Good for all the people here, because now maybe everybody wants to be here and not where we are. But anyway, it's life. It's what we have as neighbors, and this is what we're building and working together, both sides of the border. So shadows and brightness.
Yeah. I was thinking through, you made an amazing statement a while ago, and I want you to open that up a little bit for us. You said that one way to help with the border is to legalize all drugs because of our freedoms, right?
Yes.
And obviously that's a bold stance. That's you're in the future. Let's say you're in the future. Do you think by legalizing all the different drugs, right, whatever it is, meth, cocaine, all the different drugs, that it would slow down the type of violence, is what you were saying at the border? It would slow the violence down because there wouldn't be a war, if you will, on it?
I think that would be the first good thing to obtain out of that. On the other hand, I know it's a bad thing for health to consume in excess those drugs.
Sure.
Same as it is for your health, very bad to consume more sugar than you should.
Caffeine.
More alcohol.
Yes, prescription drugs.
And so that's why I put together all of that there. And I think, yes, the first outcome would be that criminals and cartels would not even exist. If you can buy your heroin or your morphine or your cannabis freely in the market, in an open market, cartels won't have any money to gain from those black underground markets that they control.
Yeah. It's a very interesting point. I haven't thought about that before.
Well, it happened here back in the 20s, in 1920, with the prohibition of alcohol.
Right. Yeah, the prohibition.
It became a war. It became violence, crime, and everything.
It went underground.
They legalized the use of alcohol. That's it.
Yeah.
You have Las Vegas today. That replaced that Chicago of those days.
Yeah. You did replace Chicago of the mobsters with the alcohol out in Chicago. Last thing I'd have for you is, before the final question, is I want you to share us a little bit more of, it seems like your heart as a leader, as I watch you and listen to you, it seems like you have a natural ability perhaps to lead and be vulnerable with your heart. And I think it's where you're creating now these foundations that you mentioned. Can you talk a little bit about what those foundations are doing and why you're so passionate about them?
3 of them. One is the Presidential Library, where the core we do is leadership, precisely. All the concepts that we mentioned here is what we teach there. The main program is one called President for the Day. In this last 20 years, 15 years, we done over 750,000 kids and young persons that have come through Centro Fox to this program. And what is the message there? You were not born to be poor. You were not born to be a criminal or a cartel member. You were not born to migrate. You were born to do great things in your life, and we're going to teach you how.
Yeah.
So we do that exercise with 750,000 kids now that we've done that. So that's Centro Parks. Then we have Vamos Mexico. Philanthropy is our case there. We donate wheelchairs. We've done over 1,000 every year for 15 years now. So we've done a lot of free wheelchairs to people that doesn't have mobility. We do nutrition and protein programs for NGOs that attend kids or attend the elderly. We do there one thing. We always try to make it sustainable and high impact. We train the trainer, or we train the NGOs to be effective. So we have diplomats and seminars to learn how to raise money, to learn how to administrate a foundation, to learn how to market what you are offering, and so on and on. We done maybe every single NGO in our region has passed through those educated programs. And then we have one that is very dear to Martha and myself, whose name is Christma. This is located on San Miguel de Allende, which is a beautiful city. Everybody should visit San Miguel de Allende. And then we attend 350 handicapped, brain damaged persons.
Okay.
Right now, we already built and expanded to attend up to 1,000. So we're open for more and more of that. So all of this is what keeps Mark and myself busy every morning. We start with a big kiss, and if we didn't do anything that night, we plan for next night to do it in bed or whatever, which is also a joy.
And fulfillment and happiness.
And then we go out.
Yeah.
We follow Deepak Chopra's advice. Gift yourself every day with 5 minutes in silence. Gift it to yourself. Go within. And again, ask you key questions. Ask you, what did I do? What did I contribute to humankind yesterday?
Yeah.
What is my plan for today? What am I going to do today? And at least come out and give smiles to anybody that you cross by. And that is good enough doing for being happy.
I love that. So you and Martha take 5 minutes every day of try to do silence.
Yes.
And just discover. Go by that word you said earlier, discovery.
And you question yourself again.
Yeah. And you do that every day.
What have you been doing and where are you heading?
Wow. That is some insightful wisdom there. 5 minutes every day to discover yourself in silence.
Deepak Chopra, not myself. Deepak Chopra recommends that.
Wow. Last question I have for you, Vicente, would be, we always ask everybody on the Jaime show, we end the show asking one question, and that is, if you could, when it's all said and over, and life is over on this planet as we have it, when it's all said and over, what would be one word that you would want the people to remember you by?
Compassion.
Compassion. You said that word quick. So here's the thing. Sometimes on the show, I ask people and they're slow and they have to think and they say a word. And sometimes people answer fast. You answered fast and your word was compassion. Why compassion?
Again, follows happiness. Mm-hmm. If you're compassion, you're helping others, you're doing things for others, and it's calm down, it's a spiritual thing coming to you, and it's being yourself, a gusto, happy with yourself.
Yeah. Compassion. What a leader. We need more leaders, more people, but for sure more leaders that are compassion and show compassion and have compassion.
And love, because politicians don't like to show love. Martha and I stopped when we were visiting Rome, right by the San Pedro's Cathedral, where the Pope is. And I asked the car that was taking us and the group of cars, it was an official visit, I said, stop here. So I just came out of the car, gave the hand to Martha, come out of the car, we crossed to the other side, and I said, okay, let's have a big, big kiss. And you press people and media, take that picture, please.
Yeah.
So love is fantastic for showing that you're in love of something.
Yeah, I love that. It's been a wonderful interview.
Mucho
wonderful. Thank you.